We are coming to you from the Coliseum in Oakland, California, where this afternoon WGN Sports is proud to present White Sox baseball. As Javi Garcia, Jose Abreu, Todd Frazier, and our Sox as they get to take on Bob Melvin's Oakland Athletics. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. We took the opener by a score of 7-2. Carlos Rodon was just awesome in that outing. Then yesterday, our guys came back with a run in the top of the ninth to tie the game at 6, and then Barreto hit his second home run of the season. In the bottom of the ninth, they won that game 7-6. And yesterday, they hit 4 home runs in that ball game.
This Oakland team can hit the ball at the ballpark. They've hit 120 home runs this year, dwarfing what the Sox have done. And yesterday, no exception. 4 home runs yesterday, and that eventually propelled them to victory. Yonder Alonso had a couple of them. He's a first-time All-Star. And he harkened back to the beginning of the year when he's hitting the ball out of the park. And Franklin Barreto, in the bottom of the ninth, takes it just over the fence. That's a game winner. And Oakland, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it with the long ball. And yesterday they did.
Melky Cabrera is really swinging the bat well in the first 2 games.
Melky's doing just a great job. And yesterday, no exception, had a 2-run homer. Had the game tying run batted in. This is the home run. And in this series, 5 for 11. That home run you looked at with 3 driven in. And this a big one. This tied the game at 6. Sox thinking they could most likely win it in extra innings, but it didn't get that far. And not because of Melky. Melky over the last 5, hitting .455, a couple of home runs, driven in 7, scored 7. So he's heating it up at a pretty good time as the Sox have split the series to this point, hoping for a win today.
And out on the bump this afternoon, a couple of right-handers.
We saw Sonny Gray back in Chicago, and he threw the ball exceptionally well. His opponent, Mike Pelfrey. He faced Oakland on 4 2/3, gave up just 4 hits, 3 earned runs. Sonny Gray on the other side of the equation a couple of days later. He went 7, gave up only 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 overall, but fanned 7 and walked 1. He's trying to find the magic again. He's one of those guys that everybody hears about in trades. We'll see if he stays in Oakland A very long. All
right, finale of this 3-game set, the rubber match. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way. Hyundai dealers. Stop by today or visit buyhyundai.com and see why at Hyundai, better drives us. State Farm, here to help protect the things you've worked really hard for home and auto insurance. By Meyer, true Chicago fans. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buy FordNow.com. Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Choose Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. And by Honda. Great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer.
Welcome back to Rickey Henderson Field, and Chicago White Sox baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience television. So we'll take a look at the White Sox Dunkin' Donut lineup. America runs on Dunkin'. Adam Engel leading it off with Melky Cabrera, one of yesterday's heroes, in the 2 spot. Then it's Jose Abreu, Avi Garcia, Todd Frazier, Matt Davidson, Tim Anderson, Kevin Smith, and Yolmer Sanchez as Jose Abreu tries to hit in his 7th straight game. The defense and how they'll line up behind Sonny Gray. Rajay Davis in left with Jacob Brugman and Matt Joyce. In the infield, Chapman, Barreto, Lowry, and Alonso. Bruce Maxwell behind the plate. And Sonny Gray, who threw very well against us in Chicago, back on the hill. There you look at the right-hander at 3-4. His ERA just over 4. Undefeated lifetime against our ball club. And in Chicago, he went 7 innings and threw it as well as he probably has thrown it all year long. Umpires for the game this afternoon. Lance Barrett behind the plate, Bill Welke at first, Jim Reynolds at second, Sean Barber at third, and they've thrown the ball around the infield, meaning we're ready for baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stoney, thank you very much. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox Baseball right over at WGN Sports. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours, as here's Adam Engel. 27-year-old right-hander out of Vanderbilt, Sonny Gray.
Watches.
If he's hitting his spots, he can really be tough.
Well, he's got a terrific curveball. He's got 2 of them. One is a sharp breaker. The other's the get-me-over curve.
And very quickly, the count 0-2. Adam comes in hitting at 292. A couple of homers. He's driven in 5. And it looks like he is just getting more and more comfortable.
And getting him on base, he is a good base runner now. He's going to be a prolific base stealer. He's got good instincts.
Well, he was 2 for 4 in the first game. And 1 for 4 with a couple of RBIs. Checked it. That was in the first game and 2 for 4 in the second game. You can't let guys like Gray fall into a good rhythm very early. That's why over the course of this game and this history of the baseball, the old saying is get to good ones early. You got to get to good ones early. You let them get in that rhythm and you're in trouble. So that's out number 1 right now. Let's check out our picks to click. Fans went with Davidson. Cruz going with Kevin Smith. Steve's going with Sanchez. And all the good folks at United. Boy, our crew, Sparky and Joe and some of our pilots. George Hoffsummer. And Bernard Young and all the great folks at Atlantic Aviation. They do such a wonderful job. There's a strike to Cabrera. Melky's been swinging the bat very well. Three hits in the first game with an RBI. 2 hits with a 2-run homer and an RBI single yesterday.
Sonny Gray will throw one of the hardest changeups around. It's anywhere from 87 to 91, and that's his straight change. He's also taken, for whatever reason, he's taken to a hesitation, a la almost Hugh Darvish, where he used to come right at you, a continuous movement in his motion. These days, he has just a little hesitation. You can take a look at it there. Short back step, and then the hesitation before the pitch.
Boy, did you see the highlights of Darvish yesterday?
Now, was he good?
He got absolutely lit up. Catcher didn't catch many of them.
That'll happen on occasion.
Catcher did not have many receptions off the slants of Darvish yesterday. That ball here well in the center field, but they got a man there. Rugman, and that is out number 2.
Batting third, first baseman, number 79, Jose Abreu.
See, here's Abreu. Abreu hitting at .292, 16 homers and 58 driven home.
So now I suppose you're going to tell me that you think 4 1/3 innings with 11 hits and 7 runs is bad.
Yes.
Well, the Red Sox will make you pay if you don't hit your spots.
That's right. That's out of play right side. Well, then Attendee, 5 for 5, scored 4 times, drove in 6.
He's a pretty good player.
And I understand he made just a stunning catch as well. Going up on the
I
wall.
don't think there's much he can't do.
Robbing Napoli. That's downstairs. Well, his name was prominently mentioned in the possibility of the Chris Sale trade prior to the trade being made.
I think Darvish is going to be a free agent, however. That gives him a whole lot of, well, if he has a decent year, he's got a whole lot of leverage.
Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think maybe Darvish has lost a little bit of his aura.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Big gap out there in left center. That's a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of punch outs, and after happening in place, our guys nothing, and their guys coming to bat.
A's today. It's Joyce, Lowry, and Davis at the top with Alonso, hero of yesterday, Maxwell, and another of yesterday's heroes, Franklin Barreto, in the middle. Then it's Chapman, Brugman, and Davis to round it out. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Mike Pelfrey, left to right. It's Melky, Adam, and Abasail, the all-star in right field. Then Frazier, Anderson, Sanchez, and Abreu in the infield with Kevin Smith behind the plate. Mike Pelfrey on the hill. Always struggled against this Oakland ball club. 0-5 with an ERA of 7.5 lifetime. On for his 14th start. He's 3-6. ERA just over 4. He's been throwing it pretty well for the most part. And of course, he's got to change speeds. He depends on a big breaking curveball that he can throw at a couple different speeds.
So this guy's been a pain in our behind this year. Matt Joyce. There's 3 home runs against us. And he takes ball 1. Comes in hitting at 220. 11 homers and 33 driven in. There's the strike.
When you have a team that's giving you all kinds of problems, as Oakland has done to Mike Pelfrey, your mind starts to work a little bit, and you try to be too fine with your pitches instead of what you should be doing is going right at the hitters. If they're going to hit you, they're going to hit you anyway. You just can't get behind.
Well, that's the age-old chicken and egg right there. A lot of guys just can't do that.
No, I mean, a lot of guys realize that this team, and it doesn't matter who comes to that team, this team is always going to hit you well.
That's out of play.
But the A's got Joyce on a 2-year contract, and they brought him here to give him a left-handed power presence in their lineup. He's hit 11 home runs. That's pretty good, especially if you're going to lead him off. And Bob Melvin, one of the best managers around, probably doesn't get near the acclaim he should get because he is out here in Oakland, but he's a good one and has been for a long time.
Melvin's in the top echelon.
Yeah, he really is.
Of managers.
He communicates very well. He tells his guys what to expect. He knows exactly what his team is and what they're not. He realizes it's going to be a tough year, but he keeps each and every one of them keyed up and ready to give them, as you know, the 27 outs every day like
That's
Ricky
it.
does.
That's the mark of a manager. It's not wins and losses. That's the mark of the general manager, because he's the guy that puts the behinds in uniforms. If you watch Melvin and his players play, they give him 27 outs each and every game. They don't dog it. They bust their behinds down the line. As there's Joyce once again. He's going to give it a go, and here's the throw, not in time. So the leadoff double.
So Matt Joyce starts off as he has done all season long against our ball club, taking this fastball middle in, driving it to left center field. And then when Adam has some problems with it, Joyce on to second, but it's probably going to be a 2-base hit anyway because I don't think he was stopping. So it is indeed a 2-base hit. And he coasts in easily.
So here's Lowry, switch hitting second baseman. He's got a job to do. He comes in hitting at 278, 9 homers, 28 driven in, and fouls that one back. A little tardy on it.
Well, we were just talking about wins and losses for a manager. I call it the Sparky Anderson syndrome because you remember Sparky as a manager of the Big Red Machine. He was wonderful. He could write Rose, Perez, Bench, Morgan. Every day you write them in the lineup, you win championships. You're a wonderful manager. But then he left. And he left to go to Detroit. And when he got to Detroit, something had happened between that plane flight between Cincinnati and Detroit. He became an idiot because he finished last when he got to Detroit. But 5 years later, he won it all with that '84 team. He became a genius again, but it's the players.
It's a tough game.
Well, there's no doubt.
Very, very tough. There's a base hit. So Joyce will stop at third, and trouble a brewing very quickly. Runners at the corners and nobody off. Just all right, Mike. Just figured about the guy at third. Settle down. And here's Chris Davis. And Melvin doing something that he's done for a long time. Front loads his lineup. All the best hitters up front. Pretty soon everybody will be doing it. I don't know how long it's going to take, but they'll all be doing it. I mean, just do the math.
Well,
do you want your best hitters hitting more in the game than your worst hitters?
They're starting to do it now.
Sure they are. You want your best hitters to have that fifth at bat in a game rather than some of your worst hitters.
There's a look at Bob Melvin, who was the bench coach for Bob Brenly when they won it all in 2001 with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Chris Davis has been very good against Mike Pelfrey. He's 5 for 8 against him. And like so many other guys who have pitched to Chris Davis, he has hit 1 home run against him.
.42 of them last year.
And you can bet he's got the 3-0 green light.
Three and one. The outfielder deep. Bit of a gap in right center. He just ate him up right there. So many good pitchers over the past 50 years. When they get in the jam, they're going to make you beat them inside. They just go right after you, right underneath your hands.
Tough for a guy to get the head of the bat and hit it squarely if you're throwing it 3-4 inches inside.
One of the best that I've seen, and he was one of the best for a while. For a few years in doing that was Boomer, David Wells. Boy, when he was 203-1 on the hitter, he just went right underneath their hands.
David Wells had pinpoint control for a long time. With that big emotion that he had, to have pinpoint control, I mean, that allowed him to have a really nice career, but it's hard to envision a guy with much better control than
he was a
Boomer
gamer.
had. Yeah, good
I'll
pitcher.
tell you, he was a gamer. Watch out. All right, take it. There you go. All right. They get one, but 2 down.
Positioned perfectly, it became a very easy double play, even though the ball was hit hard. Right there where Yolmer's standing.
When David was with us, my wife and I lived down on Lakeshore Drive, and David lived in the same building. And he pitched in Detroit. It was a Sunday game, and we flew back, and he asked me, he said, "How can you drive me home?" I said, "Sure." He said, "My back's killing me." We got in his SUV, and Steve, he had to get situated on the passenger side to whereas he could put his legs up on the dashboard, and he was in absolute severe pain, and he pitched with that pain that day just a few hours earlier, and he pitched well. He was a gamer. Here's a guy with a couple of home runs yesterday. Yonder Alonso, 283, 19 homers, 41 knocked in.
Yonder pretty much is a dead pull hitter, and that's what the infield reflects, with Yolmer way out on the grass. Even Abreu. You haven't seen the first baseman out on the grass too often. In fact, hardly ever. That shows you what a pull hitter Alonso is.
Well, we got 6 guys on the grass.
He hits the ball pretty hard. He changed his stroke. Most of home runs he'd ever had was 9 in any year coming into this year. This being his walk year or option year or final year before free agency, guys have a tendency to play a little bit better for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it's incentive or what, but he's got 19 homers. We're not at the break yet.
Well, it's not unlike golf and baseball are very similar. It's not unlike golf. All of a sudden, the guy struggles. And he finally has some good advice from a guy. The light switch goes on and poof, he's on his way. Same thing happens in hitting.
I mean, he was down there with a whole lot of guys that hang around in Miami in the offseason, and there's a lot of good hitters down there, A-Rod being one of them. That one almost there. Mike Pelfrey wants to know where it was, and Lance Barrett didn't think it was good enough. And there is.
Well,
Ricky
Mike
Renteria.
Pelfrey is upset. I got to put my money on Pelfrey. Yeah, he was right.
Well, he doesn't. You don't see him do much with umpires. He's
No.
pretty much implacable on the mound, but yet he was most unhappy with that one call that did not go his way, because you're facing a guy that hit a couple of home runs yesterday, and you think you got him out, but now you got to make some more pitches.
He gone. So he pitches out of a big jam. They do get one, and after one is 1-0 Athletics.
Log on to WGNTV.com and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner for the latest stats and information. The Game Zone is powered by Dodd Camera, which is family owned and celebrating over 125 years. Dodd Camera, where the focus is on you. Or on that young lady, certainly enjoying the concession stands.
Ivy, Frazier, Davidson. Ivy at 317, 11 homers, 51 knocked in. If you're hitting against Sonny Gray or a guy who has good stuff like Sonny Gray has, you don't want to let any first ball fastball strikes get away. Nice recognition right there by Chapman. And a reminder, you can save on tickets with the 4th of July flash sale. Now, get select lower level tickets for the July 18-19 series against the Dodgers for just $10. The special offer ends today. It ends today at 5 p.m. Central. So visit whitesox.com/flash sale to order your tickets. Chapman is fun to watch throw. Tied. 2 down.
Kind of interesting with Sonny Gray, who was always an acclaimed pitcher. Decided not to sign when the Cubs drafted him initially, choosing to go to Vanderbilt, where he was terribly successful. So with this complete backlog of success, he never really struggled very much. He had to learn some of that last year. He was on the disabled list twice. He was only 5-11, and his ERA was 5.69. He had never been anywhere close to that during his careers. The Oakland ERAs in the 250s, 260s. He got just a little above 3 once. Last year he learned some valuable lessons. If you never struggled, you don't really know how to get out of it. Last year was the first time he's done that, and he rededicated himself, changed things around. You look at those numbers, they're very impressive. 3.49 ERA in this day and age is good for a starter.
Oh, and 2 the count. Too much time.
Suddenly looks like he's taking this slowdown game a little too seriously.
Bit of a gap out there in left center.
That's got enough power to take it out in any direction, even in a spacious ballpark like this. And we saw yesterday, in the daytime, it's a very lively park.
Just did get a piece of it.
I asked a couple of the Oakland announcers if the Barreto fly ball had been hit at night, would it have gone out? They said no, wouldn't even have made the warning track. But it was the daytime, and it won the ball game for him. Like 2 different parks, actually.
It is. It's like 2 different parks, 2 different dimensions. One of them's big, one of them's small. That's low. And first thing you know, from 0-2, it's 3-2. Yeah, great park here in the daytime.
Well, only 330 down the lines. Even the power alleys are 362. I mean, that's very short power alleys, major league standards.
Well, that at bat right there sets him up good for his next one. So we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, that is 6 up, 6 down for Sonny Gray. our Xfinity tail of the tape, bottom of the second inning. Here is Bruce Maxwell, a catcher. Maxwell hitting at 283, no homers, and he's driven in 3.
Here's another guy with some power that just has not shown it yet, but he will.
One and one the count.
Taken in the second round in 2012 by this Oakland ball club. Born in Germany.
There's a strike.
If you had your choice, you're starting a baseball team, you have your choice. But you have to take a position player. What position would that player be if you could choose anybody you wanted to?
Catcher.
That would be the one?
Yeah. You got to have a good catcher.
To me, it's either a catcher or a shortstop. You'd like to be the smartest guy on the field if you can get that guy.
Well, it's going to be something up the middle. It could be a center fielder like Junior, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about Hall of Famers and all-time greats.
But,
I'm just talking about, the position itself.
No, I'm talking about, to me, that's the most important position. You get a good catcher, and they can do so many things. As a rule, good catchers are going to be a good leader in the clubhouse as well. But they can get guys, pitchers, in today's game especially, they can get pitchers who are having trouble. They can work them and get them through some tough spots. Maybe get another inning in the third, 2/3, maybe 2 innings out of them.
You can get just another couple of outs these days. That's
exactly right.
A huge advantage.
You got it. Everything today has got to be directed to protect the bullpen, and a catcher can protect the bullpen better than any other position player. There's the dreaded leadoff walk.
Sox fans, check out the White Sox blog at WGNTV.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media because Nationwide is on your side.
Here's Barreto. Yesterday's hero for the A's in that 9th inning home run. That's the toughest position to fill in today's marketplace, is a good catcher.
If you've got one, like let's say you raise Salvador Perez, you want to hold on to him for a while because he was a leader from the time he was just a little catcher to now where he's grown up into a very big catcher.
There's the strike, and the count 0-2.
I don't think it's a mistake that looking around at all the managers in baseball, you'll see by far the #1 position to raise a manager is from behind the plate.
Most of the time they have tremendous baseball acumen.
There's also one attribute that you have to have if you're going to don, as they term, the tools of ignorance behind the plate, which is the gear. You better be able to play with pain, because from about the second game of the season on, you're going to hurt somewhere if you're behind the plate. You're going to take a lot of foul balls off your anatomy, and you got to block that out, compartmentalize, and do everything you have to do.
That's going foul. Well, that's the reason that you take a guy like A.J. Pierzynski, who grew up and had the mindset that he almost became immune to pain. He could take one off the shoulder, he could take one off the tip of the shoulder, he could take one off anywhere, and he never broke the pitcher's rhythm. he got the ball back to the pitcher. Plus, he was the smartest signal caller in the league.
Well, you also saw him when he was coming up. You saw him in high school. Was he a catcher then? Did he ever play any position?
I tried to get us to draft him. I called Danny Evans. And I said, Danny, what do you guys got on A.J. Pierzynski? Schuler was the general manager. And he said, I'll get back to you. So he called me back a little later, and he says, we don't like him that much. I said, why? He said, well, Shu likes this guy in Warner Robins. His name was Mark Johnson, the catcher.
Yeah.
I said, well, how big is Johnson? He said, well, he's about 5'9". I said, is he got any power? He said, no, but he's a real good catcher.
If his name is not Pudge Rodriguez, go on to somebody else.
I told him, I said, Danny, I said, this kid Pierzynski's going to be in the big leagues by the time he's 20, 21 years old. I said, he's 6'4". He's not going to be that much of a home run hitter, but he's one of the best you ever want to see in calling the game, and he's got a great chance upside. So anyway, they drafted him, Mark Johnson, first in the first round, and Twins took A.J. in the third round. Well, the rest is history.
Yeah.
We were playing the Cubs one day, and Brinley was announcing with the Cubs, and he comes up before the game. He says, Hawk, I heard what you said about A.J. the other day. A.J. was with us at the time. You said he was the smartest player in the American League. He said, I got to tell you, he's the smartest player in baseball. But Shu didn't like him.
Well, it can happen. And we've seen it happen many times. Just about every draft, in fact. Johnny Bench was drafted in the second round, and he worked out pretty well for Cincinnati. But they seem to think that Bernie Carbo was a much better player than Johnny Bench. And so did everybody drafting in the first round, because
Gene Lamont went before Bench.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank goodness that Kenny Williams was general manager, 05. And Kenny decided, all right, take your time. Couldn't get him. There's the play right there that Timmy could make and step on the bag.
If he sprints to the bag,
yeah,
he's going to complete the double play.
Yep.
Because this has got to be 2. And, you know, this is going to happen for Tim because you have to have patience. He's still a very young player. And that little flip, this wasn't firm enough.
If he sprints to the bag and guns it over, they're going to get him.
Yep.
But Kenny, some of the guys on this club didn't want AJ on the White Sox, and Kenny decided that he was going to talk to AJ himself, which he did, and he signed him.
It worked out pretty well.
Well, I got to say, we probably wouldn't have won the 05 World Series if it had not been for A.J. Pierzynski. And you can credit that to Kenny Williams.
This is a young man with all kinds of skills. And it's just a matter of time till he starts putting the bat on the ball consistently. Right now, probably in the upper echelon, third baseman defensively.
There he goes. No chance.
So we saw Barreto get called to the major leagues. He looked pretty good. He still looks pretty good, and that's his second stolen base. He gets a great jump, and there's really no chance. Stole that one on Mike Pelfrey. Kevin Smith had 0 chance. When you get a 3-step jump, you're not going to be able to gun him down.
There's a breaking ball, yanks it foul.
Mike's slow curveball has been pretty good today, and he had Chapman well out in front of that.
He gone. Let me go back to that double play that was not turned. If there is going to be a double play turned on that ground ball, which there should have been, it's got to be 6-3. If he's got to go to Yolmer, it's not going to get turned.
And that's exactly what happened. Because he was already drifting towards second. He just felt, he felt that the flip was a thing. It turned out it wasn't. But again, we want every guy brought to the major leagues to be a star. And nowadays, a lot of these guys that are in the Sox organization will be down the road. But you have to have patience with the young guys because it's not automatic. You don't learn the intricacies of one of the most demanding positions in the game immediately. It takes a while. And there is no doubt that man you're looking at has enough skill to not only be a major leaguer for a long time, but a major league star.
Yes, that is probably the more star-studded talents certainly in the American League is the shortstop position.
Well, it's become the glamour position for the last maybe 5 years, bringing just great talent after great talent all the way through baseball. Shortstop has become the glamour position.
Well, here's one of the big differences. Here, our team right now is 9 games under 500, and yet they've been fun to watch.
Well, they're an exciting team.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not a good team, but an exciting team.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. 9 games under, and they're fun to watch. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
Ours are. They don't quit. And going forward, we see the possibilities of the upside. Brugman, the 205 with a homer out of Brigham Young.
And right now, defensively, he's very good in center field. The bat lagging behind, but they are a better team when Brugman plays center because he can go get just about everything.
Most people say the shortstop is usually the best athlete. Well, over the years, you and I both have grown to hate that best athlete moniker. Give me a baseball player.
Yeah, that's.
Give me a baseball player. I hate it when, we took the best athlete. I've gone over 57 years in this game. I've grown to hate that phrase.
Well, you've seen a few guys drafted over that time, and some of the best athletes don't work out very well because they have to hit the ball.
No. You got right-handed hitting Rajay Davis on deck. Rajay's been scuffling, but he always, for some reason, finds a way to hurt us. So I would imagine that with this pitch right here, let's see what he wants to do with it. Made a good pitch. He had to fight it off.
Yeah, try to heat him upstairs. Again, maybe a little bit higher and you get him. That time, Brugman was able to stay alive, and that
nice.
Gave the youngster a souvenir.
Yes.
Very nice.
We're seeing a lot more of that today than we used to. Guys giving baseballs to youngsters. So, second walk of the inning. And here comes Rajay, hitting at 206, a couple of homers and 12 knocked down. Big gap out there in right center.
The A's brought Rajai Davis over because they felt that he could play center field just about every day. But that really, at this point of his career, is not exactly the way it's going to work out.
Breaking ball, pretty good pitching, didn't get it. He hadn't gotten anything, as a matter of fact, close.
No, and Mike's got to have the corners because he's not a big strikeout pitcher. He pitches to contact, which is a phrase used to guys that don't have an overwhelming fastball or a wipeout curve or slider.
Another one.
But
Pelfrey just looks in over our dugout.
2 pitches in the same spot, and he is 2-0.
Well, I don't care what Barrett's going to call as long as he calls it both ways.
Don Cooper. To his right, Herm Schneider, one of the best in the business, if not the best in the business.
Big hack, no contact.
Off-speed pitch, down and away.
Looking for the express and got the local.
He was guessing strike, and he was guessing fastball. Didn't get either, but he swung.
This is a big pitch right here. Now the count 3-1. Ed Montague saw him before the game, now working in a supervisor role capacity. Ed, longtime fine major league umpire.
And a magician.
Really?
Yeah, he's a magician.
He was a good umpire.
Yep.
There's the strike. So 2 out, 2 on, full count.
You certainly would like to see him leading off the third.
He gone. He pitches out of another jam, but they lead at 1-0.
Triple play promotion. Text Subway to 97999 right now, and the 300th texter will win a $30 gift card to a Subway restaurant in the Chicagoland area.
Anderson, Smith, and Sanchez. Sonny Gray has had 6 up, 6 down. There's the strike. Off the end of the bat. It's caught. Sox fans, on Wednesday, July 26th at 7:10, your White Sox take on the Chicago Cubs, and the first 10,000 fans will receive a White Sox lunch bag presented by United Airlines. United, proud to fly the Chicago White Sox. And that's Mark Seipolt, Sparky Seipolt, Joe Bonilla. As I mentioned, George Hofsummer, Mark Schwartz, Jackie and the crew, great people.
Gray's best year by far was 2015, 14-7, but an ERA of 2.73 in 31 starts. That was before he had a couple of arm issues, which shelved him last year twice, 2 different stints in the disabled list last year.
It's an agent's game.
Yeah, last year the stuff for him just was, I mean, you're talking about a guy with an ERA below 3 in this ballpark lifetime. And last year at 5.69.
Outfield straight up, spread out, spaced about equidistant. Watch out.
He's thrown him pretty well, but that fastball today doesn't have quite the life or the velocity of the fastball that he threw in Chicago.
And this goes underneath the glove. Good. They give him a hit. And you can cancel a post-game show.
We see this so often where an infielder will try to make a slide, and then when he does it, his head moves around and he can't judge the ball. One thing to get down and move across standing up. Another thing when you slide, and that time Lowry played it into a base hit.
He did, but he's normally against us. He's a good hitter and good second baseman. He plays well against us.
He's been swinging it well this entire season, much better than last year where he had some leg issues.
So here's Yolmer. Yolmer hitting at 271, 4 homers and 23 driven in. Oh, Yolmer, 1st and 30. Had 40,000 plus in the opening game. And yesterday, 16,314. 2-1. And it's 2-2. Sox will complete this game, this series, board our charter, head on over to Mile High City,
where it's very warm these days in Denver.
Bob Graham told me it might be close to 100.
Yep. Been that way for a few days now.
Get over his head. All right, they get him, but Kevin into second. And that'll bring up Adam Engel. Well, if it's that hot, the Hawkaroo is going to spend the day, off day tomorrow, in his pajamas.
Enjoying the air conditioning?
You better believe it. I'd like to go out and play some golf, but Hawk is not going to go out and play golf in that kind of heat.
But the ball travels so much further.
Oh, it does. Boy, you talking about having some fun in the old Mile High Stadium when they had that big old scoreboard out there. It was about 100 and something feet high. I mean, it was nothing to go over that thing.
No, that's a great place for a hitter. And for pitchers, not so much.
Ground ball. Shortstop's got him. And that'll retire the side. So we get our first hit, strand our first runner, and it's still 1-0 A's.
For smart thermostat with built-in Alexa voice service and room sensor. Make your home work. And for Corey Kluber, everything is working. Last 5 starts, ERA of .92. You look at the rest of the numbers, they're spectacular. Danny Espinosa on the other side of the equation. Not too good. 2 for 24 with an on-base percentage of .207.
Somebody please get this guy out. Matt Joyce doubled. Lead off the bottom of the first, came around to score. Pelfrey pitched out of a big jam right to first and third, nobody out, and they could only pick up the 1. At 32 years old.
Outfield pretty much straight away. Infield playing him as a dead pull hitter.
Two and two the count. Harvey looking over in that dugout once again. Payoff. And that is just foul.
Jose was on the line. That one was not going to get between him and the bag. But it was on the wrong side of the line this time. See how far back he is at first. That one just missing. And Bill Welke throwing his arms up immediately.
And that's foul. Well, this is certainly, we talked about it in game one. This is certainly a ballpark that you really would like to have your corners who are very proficient in pop-ups.
And to have some speed because you got,
well, that goes along with being proficient.
A world of ground to cover.
Just got it. Yeah.
'68th pitch on the way with nobody out here in the third, so a long outing probably out of the equation. There you see how much room there is in foul territory. The most in big league baseball by a long shot.
Oh yeah, he gone.
It's strikeout number 4. Mike was pretty confident he could get him on anything off speed, and finally does.
So here's Lowry. He singled in the hole between third and short when everybody was looking for him to pull the ball. With Joyce on second, nobody out.
Lowry, a much better hitter from the left side. Came in 36 points better as a left-hand hitter, with 8 of his 9 home runs coming from the side he's hitting from today.
Two and one to count. So there is the single in the hole. Singles in the hole between third and short. Singles in the hole between first and second.
You normally don't have to worry about Lowry trying to steal. He has yet to attempt a stolen base. This entire A's team with only 27 stolen bases. They've been gunned down 13 times.
Well, for an organization who, for a while now, does not believe in stealing bases or bunting that much. They're not giving the manager a situation that he grew up with.
No, certainly not. But Barreto is a step in the right direction because he does have some speed.
Well, if the way the game is being played today, especially in the first responsibility of a general manager today is to try to give his manager a team that he can manage a 6-inning game.
Well, that's ideal. If you can get it done, it doesn't happen all that often.
No, it doesn't. So if that's the case, then you try to give your manager a team that can manage a 7-inning game. So you have to try to, because everything is predicated today. I don't care how good your starters are. You've heard me say this how many times. I don't care how good they are. I don't care how good your offense is. I don't care how good your defense is. If you don't cover those last 3 or 4 innings, you're not going to win many games. High off the bat of Davis. And that is out number 2. And the 2017 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate. Buying a new home has never been faster or easier with the world's best digital mortgage. So go to rate.com now. Well, I'll tell you, all you got to do to validate what I just said is just go in that 5-year period, a 4-year period of what Ned Yost was able to do with Kansas City.
All he had to do was get the lead, and that was pretty much it.
And that's the way he managed. You manage entirely different when you got a situation where you can cover the 7th, 8th, and 9th. The mayor of Mean Joe Group down in the truck now is trying to find some numbers for us to relay to you about the percentage of when a team scores first. I believe it's 65%. Team scores first is going to win the game, and it goes a little higher. So I think the 67% if you're at home and you score first. So if those numbers are accurate, what do? You front load your batting order. You try to get on the board as quick as possible, and you got the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning covered. And if you get lucky, as you mentioned, not too many teams can, you can cover the 6th as well.
Well, in order to do that, you better have a setup man or setup men from both sides. Used to be you had one setup man. Normally he was right-handed, handed it off to a right-handed closer. Now you really need to have that late lefty.
Unless you got 3 lockdown right-handers, or you got 3 lockdown left-handers. As long as they're locked down, you're right. You got to have a left-hander if you don't have the right lockdowns.
Well, that's why Andrew Miller is so very valuable to whatever team he happens to be on. He's with the Indians now, but he can go multiple innings and give you a lockdown setup man and close if you need him.
Well, Andrew Miller to me is in the top 10 certainly and most valuable players in this league.
Yes, he is.
Big hack by Yonder.
He aired it out that time. Trying to hit yet another home run, but coming up empty.
Big gap in left center. But as Steve told you earlier, primarily a pull hitter. There he goes.
Ricky knows with Mike Pelfrey at 81 pitches, not out of the 3rd inning, that he's going to go and use that bullpen. He used 4 pensmen yesterday: Jennings, Beck, Holmberg, and Canely. But the off day tomorrow, meaning all hands on deck here today.
So here's Maxwell, the catcher. He walked leading off last inning. Little high. Mike has thrown 59 pitches in the first 2 innings. This is about as many pitches as you're going to see a guy go through 2 2/3.
Yeah, I would think so. And there's no urgency on the part of either of the starters.
That's cold. So Maxwell, well, he's got the catbird seat. He's 2-0. Well, he had a hack. Thank goodness, just underneath it. That ball hit well in the left center, and nobody's going to get that one. That's going to score a pair, and it's 3-0.
RBIs 4 and 5 for Maxwell. We talked about his power early and the fact that he hasn't shown it yet. Well, here's a brief look at it. Opposite field, drills it and drives home the 2 runs. One hopping the wall and a 3-0 game.
So here's Barreto. Hit into a 6-4 fielder's choice. Picked up a stolen base. As a rule, when you go to that plate, the more pitches you see, the more dangerous you become. Except when you're facing superior stuff.
Some of the greats, yeah, you can see as many pitches as you want to from some of those guys.
It doesn't make any difference.
Not stay up with them.
No. High pop up, and that's going to be not playable. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for us. 3 runs, 4 hits. No errors for them. Sixth and final meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 5, they've won 4 of them. You take the old Metrodome, Toronto, here. It's always been tough for our White Sox to win games in those 3 ballparks. Here you go. Meanwhile, Big two-run double by Bruce Maxwell, and they lead it 3-0.
Sox checking, and an official White Sox debit card only available through local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
We need 3 to tie. Top of the 4th inning. It'll be Cabrera, Abreu, and Garcia. Cabrera lined out hard to center field. Checks it up, takes a strike, and that evens the count at 1. That's into center field, hit deep. And it's over his head. He did not read it well at all. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 2-base hit as it bounces over the fence.
Time now for our Mazda replay cam, and you'll see a center fielder with no idea the path to go and get that baseball. There is the Mazda replay cam. Melky hits it hard. Brugman gets a real bad break on it. Looks the wrong way. By the time he looks the right way, that ball over his head for a 2-base hit.
All right, let's just chip away. As here's Abreu, struck out his first trip. That evens the count at 1. A double by Cabrera, just our second hit if you're just joining us. Gap out there, a small gap in left center. Now Jose with a 2-1 count. That'll even it up. Our guys come in hitting at 262 as a club. A's hitting at 238.
Oakland with 120 home runs. Our Sox with 95 heading into play today. Ray has only given up 7 home runs this year. 75 innings of work. It's very good.
Yeah, one thing we've seen from Sonny Gray is he's not afraid of the bat.
Well,
it's amazing how many pitchers are.
He's been pretty much a dominant pitcher since he came in the league until last year.
You weren't afraid of the bat.
Well, no, you couldn't be, because I couldn't depend on striking out guys to get out of jams. So tried to let him hit it, but
well,
obviously not real well sometimes.
That ball carry. Get foul. So he wouldn't catch it. If it stays fair, he's got a shot at it. Well, like you, I played with a lot of guys who were scared to death of that bat.
Well, if you don't embrace contact, you're going to find yourself making a lot of 2-0-3-1 pitches. And if you do that, your ERA is going to swell considerably. Gray's only thrown 49 of them.
Well, everything is self-induced, and that is certainly something that's self-induced. Once again, a 2-2 pitch. Avi on deck. Good check, full count. That's lifted in center field right at him. And that throw is going to be a little high. Meanwhile, he's got a he's got a gun. Meanwhile, 1 out.
This one probably would have been better served on a 1-hop throw, but he decided to throw it all the way there.
So here's Avi. I'll tell you what I like. Abreu now, he's got his presence back at the plate.
He feels very good about the way things are going right now.
You can see it.
Yeah. Well, he's so much better than what he was last year at this time. Not only just the numbers. You look at the numbers, yeah, they're better this year, but he feels much more comfortable, much more confident.
Well, that's what happens when you get that presence. That morphs into a sense of control.
Well, he's got one of those right now.
Yeah. And there is a line shot caught. Dadgummit.
Well, Melky still doesn't know that the ball's caught and that he's doubled up to end the inning, but he does now.
And they still lead at 3-0.
Brandon McCarthy on the 10-day DL. Right knee tendonitis, and this year McCarthy was throwing it very well. 6-3, 3.25 ERA in 13 starts. Injury report brought to you by Dr. Anthony Romeo, proud member of the Midwest Orthopedics at Rush. Go to RomeoOrthopedics.com or call 312-432-2342.
And that's as good as it gets right there. There's Ballard hit ball. Sets, peg. And that's out number 1. That was Matt Chapman. Well, business got to be booming for the orthopedic people.
Well, we're seeing more and more people have to have some sort of, well, if not an adjustment, certainly somebody to look at an injury that they've had. There's a lot of sports people around and getting hurt a lot.
That's what I'm talking about. I was talking about the actual surgery. I'm talking about all the examinations.
Yeah, there's a few of those too.
I'm telling you. But if you got to get it cut on, it's hard to beat Dr. Romeo. As here is Jacob Brugman. He walked his first trip.
Sox fan up and going. And it is Gregory Infante.
Well, the Mayor Minjo group just got the numbers for us that are interesting because they've changed a little bit. Last year when we got them, it was 65% of the time that first team to score won a ball game. And it was 67% of the time when the home team scored first that they won a ball game. Now they've changed up to this point this year. The first team to score wins 62.9% or 63% of the time. And when the home team scores first, they win 69.6 or 70% of the time.
Doesn't bode well for today.
You still got that 30% swing, though. But again, those numbers right there should dictate, as the manager, what you're going to try to do. That ball in right center field, and that is just absolutely split them and out of here. So that's his second home run, and it's a 4-0 game.
Two and 7 on the power numbers. Time now for our Ford Drive of the game. Inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. And Brugman hits it just to the left of where the fence goes up. And so that's going to be it. As Belfry walks out, we will step out. Be back after these messages. We went 3 1/3. There you look at the numbers on Infante on for the 20th time. ERA of 4.79. And a very disappointed Mike Pelfrey. He's never done well against this Oakland team. Came in at 0-5. Came in with an ERA of 7.5 lifetime against Oakland. And today, just a little more of the same.
Who was the toughest club you had?
For a long time, it was Yankees and Tigers. Tigers were very difficult. Yankees, that ballpark and that loaded left-handed lineup they always had because of their park, yeah, they were very, very difficult. And you know that going in. I mean, you know what teams give you problems.
Heck yeah.
The only problem with that is when you do that, number one, in your own mind, you have a tendency to believe you have bad stuff that particular day. But that really isn't the case, because the stuff was predicated on your knowledge of the fact that this team is tough on you.
Well, as I said, everything is self-induced.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. You have to have belief that you can deal with a ball club, and when you do, when you have that, you seem to throw very well against them. You're aggressive. You have confidence. It's just the opposite when a team is really difficult for you. You lose that aggressiveness. You should have, we talked about it early in the game today, you should have more on a team that you struggle against, because you want to show them that you're going to be aggressive on that given day and go right after them and don't fall behind.
You know, Jack Nicklaus said something very interesting about major championships in golf. He said before the tournament starts, there's a base hit in the right field. So Davis now 1 for 2, but he said watch the interviews before the first round. And if you say, if you see a guy saying, well, this is really a tough golf course, they've really got the rough up, or blah, 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 blah. He said that guy's got no chance to win.
I was going to say he's giving himself some pre-excuses before
Exactly
the bell rings.
That's what Jack said.
Yeah.
He said if you ever see that, that guy has got no chance of winning. So here's Matt Joyce. He's 1 for 2. Leadoff double in the first, and a run scored. There he goes.
Gregory did not pay a great deal of attention to their one premier base stealer. And Rajai Davis has been like that for a long time. So he steals his 11th base, and this a no-doubter. It's a straight steal. So Joyce was not going to swing, and now Davis is on second base without a throw.
Well, with 1 out, he's going to try to steal third. There he goes.
I'm not sure. I mean, I knew that Gregory looked at him once, but now he's calling the infield in. Davis is their guy. You got to look at him a few different times. You got to make sure you freeze him at second base, and he looked one time, and that was it. Again, stealing a bag without a play. That's both second and third.
But when you get that situation with this club and Davis on, you got to put somebody right on the bag, right behind him. You got to make him think. Sure, you open up more space for the hitter, but you can't cover everything.
Yep.
You got to play the percentage, because he's going to steal it with 1 out. 2 out, you don't have to play quite that close to the bag. But with 1 out, no out, you don't have to play that close. But with 1 out, you got to play right on that bag.
Yeah, because look at if you steal third with 1 out, the difference as opposed to 2, you got the sacrifice fly or the ground ball if the manager decides to play everybody back.
Big hack.
Joyce has 3 sacrifice flies.
So that is the first walk by Infante. Fourth walk issued by our pitching today. Lowry's 2 for 2 with a run scored. Oh, that's close. Wow, good effort right there. They're going to look at it. They should. That was really close.
Good timing on the part of Frazier and Infante.
He just did get back in.
Sean Barber in good position to make that call.
Where's Jack McDowell and Robin Ventura when you need them?
Well, on our ball club, James Shields and Todd Frazier have wonderful timing on that play. Jack was real good at it, I take it.
Blackjack and Robin, the best I ever saw at it.
Joyce with only 1 stolen base, only 2 attempts.
Short lead by Joyce. And there's the strike. One and two. You know, under that self-induced subtitle we were talking about, what you said Yankees and Tigers were your toughest teams. What teams did you like?
Teams that they did really well against?
Yeah.
There was maybe 2. No, let's see.
There he goes.
Well, Kevin had no place to throw it. So Joyce steals his second base of the year. Now the infield comes in again. So we'll take another look. Nobody covering second, so probably not going to get him out that way.
You think?
Always had some pretty good luck with the Indians for whatever reason, maybe because it was my home city and I wanted to do well against them.
That's a base hit, and that's going to score a pair, and it's 6-0. And you know what? We got these guys right where we want them.
Well, there was the biggest difference. When you allow that stolen base uncontested, you have to pull the infield in. When you do that, no angles for a ground ball. Normally this would probably be 2. If Yomer is back at his normal position, this is an easy play to make and probably turn into a double play, but didn't work out that way as Matt Joyce stumbles around the bag and Still makes it easily. So now meeting at the mound with Don Cooper.
Don's trying to tell him anything and everything he can get to give him some innings.
That's about it. Even with the off day, you don't want to go that deep in the pen if you can help it. So. That pen has seen a lot of work as the quality starts for a period of about a month and a quarter or so have not been there like they normally are.
All right, pop up, back, and souvenir. Davis has hit into a 4-3 double play, hit that ball hard, and then in the last inning, he just missed one. High towering fly ball into right field.
Well, for Sonny Gray, all he's got to do is stay loose because he's got a big lead.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing, our guys won't quit. For some reason, these guys seem to dial it up a notch when they fall behind. 4, 5, or 6 runs and fairly early.
They got a long way to come back today.
Oh yeah, against a good pitcher. And that'll retire the side, but some damage is done. They lead it 6-0. Sox Pride Club for exclusive ticket offers, membership gifts, game day opportunities, ballpark tours, MLB.com game day audio for your computer, and much, much more. So visit SoxPrideClub.com to jail. Here's Todd. Popped up to second base his first trip. Six, 7-0 for them. 2-0 for us. Watch out. He almost walked right into that one.
This one buzzes up and in. Not able to get out of the way. Aaron Judge did it again. It is 29th home run. 29 home runs for a rookie, tied Yankee record held by Joe DiMaggio. And of course, Aaron Judge has a half season to go. Hard to believe, 1936, Joe hit 29 home runs, which was a huge total at that time. And Judge has tied it, and we're not at the All-Star break.
A little different ballpark, too. And let's take a look at that double play to end the inning.
We'll take a look at it. Tim on one knee, but it's not a good throw, and Yolmer does a nice job. That ball took him off the bag. Not a good throw, and you got all kinds of time.
Yeah, that was a terrific play by Sanchez.
Well, he's got great hands and
Terrific
really good quick movements around the bag. That one got a good piece of Maxwell, who is trying to shake it off, and Lance Barrett giving him the opportunity by killing a little time. There he is, man with excellent defensive acumen. He understands just about everything going on, certainly around the bag, and he can play a number of different positions. Anywhere he's going to give you the good effort, whether it's third, short, or second base.
He understands the game as well, I'll say, as anybody on our ball club.
And that one knocks Maxwell over. So he got hit the pitch before, and now he got hit squarely in the mask, and that took him back into home plate umpire Lance Barrett. Watch it again as he gets hit square and then just falls back. Bob Melvin, a former catcher himself, certainly understands what his young catcher's going through, and he's going to stay in the game.
So the count full. There's a good workmanlike at bat right there for Todd, the leadoff walk.
Gray's first walk of the day. He's a little unhappy with himself.
Number 24, Matt Davidson.
But you keep telling yourself when you got a big lead is throw strikes. When you don't do it, it's frustrating.
So here's Davidson, grounded out to short. He had a good at bat. Was quickly down 0-2, worked the count full. So he's seen everything in Sonny's repertoire in that first at bat. Good rip, but just underneath it.
Yeah, got a very hittable pitch. That one had the whole plate. It was down the middle, just about thigh high. This is where Matt wants it. We certainly want to wish a speedy recovery to Terry Francona, who's going through a battery of tests. He's going to miss his second straight game. Couldn't be in a better place. Cleveland Clinic, one of the best in the world.
They are one of the best.
Yeah.
You take Rush and Chicago, you take Cleveland Clinic. That's two of the best in the world. That ball hit hard. Stretch. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. A bomb, and it's a 6-2 ball game.
Well, Matt missed one that was very hittable before. We said that was his spot, which was low, out over the plate. And Gray, as if to say, well, let me see you do that again. I'm going to throw it right there. This is very similar to the pitch before. This one is down. Matt likes it down. It's out over the plate. He likes it out over the plate. And he kills it. 18th home run, 42 driven in. A no-doubt line drive rocket.
Well, sometimes, as we talked about, that first at-bat can set you up very nicely for the next at-bat.
Well, you mentioned that he had seen the whole Gray repertoire the first time up, so nothing's going to fool him. But then it becomes a question of location, and he got two that he really liked, the second of which left the park.
And of course, with that home run by Davidson, Alex Netley, his family will make another generous donation to White Sox charities in loving memory of Ursula. That scenario we talked about, the first bat setting you up for a future at bat against superior stuff. Like Gray does have better than average stuff, and they tell me that guys who played with him, the best they ever saw at that was Manny Ramirez. He would strike out, taking one right down the middle, and he'll come back to the dugout. I was talking with Kenny Lofton and Sandy Alomar about it at dinner one night. They said he'd come back to that dugout, sit down. Sandy or Kenny would go over and talk to him, and he would tell him, he's going to start me off with a slider next to the bat, and I'm going to take him into the seats in right field. And sure enough, he started him over the slider, and boom, right field home run.
You know, I think a couple of things lost, Hawk. From a pitching standpoint, if you're on the mound and you're noticing where a hitter makes contact, notice on the bat where he makes contact or lack of contact. Then you realize where he's on your pitches. You can get a guy out, and if he hits it on the sweet spot of the bat, which is between the label and the name, you might get him out, but he beat you in that at bat, and you better make an adjustment, or the next at bat it's not going to go at somebody. But I don't think a lot of pitchers have the recognition to see where a guy hit it on the bat, to understand where he squared it up. No, I don't think so either. And it really helps you next time to know that he's got you on that particular pitch. Choose a different pitch or a different location.
As he strikes out Anderson, one out. Well, I can tell you what we used to do. You take a guy like Kaline from the Tigers, or Maris from the Yankees, and during batting practice you'd be at the cage watching these guys hit. That's when you could kibitz with them a little bit. And say Roger stepped out of the cage and said, well, let me see that bat a minute. And I put it like I was testing the thing. I wasn't testing the thing. I was seeing where he hit the ball on the bat. With Al Kaline, his hitting zone was about as big as a quarter. So he hit everything in that
same spot.
In that same spot.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean everyone was a hit? No. There were ground outs and pop-ups, but he got it in that same inside that quarter. They said, I never, in all the times that I've talked with Ted Williams about, I never asked him. But it was Johnny Pesky who told me he had a hitting spot about the size of a dime. But the point is that we used to talk about that, what you just brought up, about where he hit the ball in the bat.
Just notice if you beat the hitter, he beat you. Even on where hitters get a base hit, if he's hitting it between the hands and the label, or the name and the end of the bat, well, you've beaten him. He's not picking it up. He might have gotten a hit, but he won't get any more in the same spot, so you don't have to change. And that's something that, for observant pitchers, that might help him. You might get one more out in the game that you wouldn't have gotten if you didn't notice it.
That ball hit sharply, but right to the first baseman. So Kevin now 1 for 2. And then you take, like my bat, for an example. My hitting spots were from the label to the end of the bat. that whole big foot and a half area.
Like you say, the farther out you got, probably the less it was going to travel. But you were right on top of the plate, so that was a spot more times than not you were using.
Yeah. Here's Yolmer. He grounded out to his counterpart, Jed Lowry. A 6-2 ball game. They will peck away. They will not pack it in. And softly hit, caught, but the two-run blast, a shot right over that center field fence by Matt Davidson. And we get on the board. Six-two. Here in their half of the fifth, Alonso, Maxwell, and Barreto. Takes it off the plate. Yonder has struck out, walked, and scored. Two and 0.
You don't have to worry about your neighbors.
Where's our buddy Uke? Bob Uecker when you want him.
The noise won't distract you, and you don't have to worry about the neighbors. Good seat.
I'll tell you what, that Uke he's a piece of work. What a great guy. What a terrific announcer.
For a long, long time.
Yeah, what a good catcher he was. And the lumber, well, a little shaky with the lumber, but the leather was real good, and his hands were real good.
I don't think that guy's going to get a souvenir anytime soon. He is way up there down the right field line.
There are not many guys. There's one that I know You know how funny Uke is.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one guy that I know for sure that I met in baseball that's funnier than Bob Uecker, and that was Mickey Mantle. But he had to be in his surrounding.
I was going to say it's probably a little different.
Yeah, he had to be around when he was comfortable with the people, where you could do it, you know, he could do it with a mirror or in front of 50,000 people. But Mickey was absolute. He was hilarious in that slow Oklahoma drawl of his. That's out of play. You know, I can name a guy who could get that guy a souvenir. And when I say his name, you will agree. See him up there?
I do.
Gary Sheffield.
Well, he would have to pull it a long way, but
he could do it.
He was that quick.
Oh, he could hit it that far and that long. That's softly hit. One out.
The Giga-Time high-speed replay is powered by Xfinity, the future of awesome, and it's the double by Maxwell, who drove this the opposite way, one hopped the scoreboard, and drove in a pair on a ringing double in the third inning.
Here's Bruce Maxwell. Bruce 6'1", 251 pounds. So he's going to catch some foul tips.
He's a big man. And a guy with some pop.
Yeah, he's a pretty good looking hitter.
The Oakland believes they've got their catcher of the future, and he's standing at bat right now.
Bobby Melvin's knows something about that position. Oh, yeah.
It's a good straight change.
Yes, it was. Had him way out in front.
Wasn't the location, it was the velocity that fooled him.
Full count. He gone. He knew it. Two down. And checking a few scores for you. Cubs beat Tampa Bay 7-3. Cubs now at 42 and 42. Toronto beat the Yankees 7-6 in the Bronx. Barreto. Get into a 6-4 fielder's choice, and he also struck out. He also picked up a stolen base in the fielder's choice.
Brito had a distinction, hitting a game-winning home run, a walk-off. At his age, was the youngest Oakland player to do it since way back in the mid-30s. Jimmy Fox did it. And he was just a touch younger than Franklin Barreto is now. There's a long way to go for young people hitting walk-off home runs. You'd think somebody would have done it between then and now, but that's not the case.
Got out in front of that one. High pop up. Frazier fighting that sign. And that'll retire the side. Nice. Nice. 3 up, 3 down for Infante.
Chicago fans.
Top of the order for us here in the top of the 6th. Engel, Cabrera, and Abreu. Well, we're talking about comfort at the plate. On a scale of 1 to 10, his first few games, which is normal, being a rookie, he was probably sitting at about 2.5 or 3. Now he's probably up 5, 5.5.
Well, he hasn't seen anything yet that he didn't think was too much for him. And that batting average up close to 300 when this game started. There you look at the pitches for Sonny Gray. 26th in the 5th inning. And pitch number 82 on the way. Sox bullpen up and going. Juan Minaya loosening into pen. He's going to get some work today. Second time that Adam has gone down on strikes. This one looked to be just out of the zone. It's up. And he swings through it. Fourth strikeout for Sonny Gray.
Well, he's moved the ball around very well on Adam.
Yep.
So here is Cabrera. He's lined hard to center, and he's doubled to center. 1-1 the count. Off day tomorrow in Denver. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to run Holland, Quintana, and Rodon against those tough Colorado Rockies. They're going to run Marquez, Hoffman, and Freeland. Freeland, a southpaw. Marquez and Hoffman, right-handers. Sonny Gray on top of ball and 2 strikes. Two down.
Time now for the Ryan Kelly home field facts, and we'll center on the Colorado Rockies, where we will be. And you can see batting average, they're second. Runs per game, the third. But then it comes to the pitching aspect of it. They're 15th in ERA and 15th in opponent's batting average, as you would expect. Just a tough place to win. If you're on the road, if you're home, well, you're 23 and 16 if you're the Rockies. They've only won 2 of their last 10, and they're 7.5 games back of the Dodgers.
You got Melky on a good changeup. As here is Abreu.
And the home field facts brought to you by Ryan Kelly. Ryan Kelly, thehomeloanexpert.com.
Steve told you earlier that changeup of his, he throws hard. That was an 86-mile-an-hour changeup.
Well, for a starting pitcher, it's most unusual. Tommy Kahnle has one that's anywhere from 88 to 91, like Gray, a little firmer than most.
Yeah, Sonny sort of gave that one away a little bit. He just gave him a real big motion. Sometimes that works, and sometimes it's a tell. It's a giveaway.
Well, he's thrown 2 times against our ball club. You would think that he has a whole lot of value to a contending team.
Well, you and I have never seen him against us pitch poorly.
No, he's always had good stuff. Now that he is entirely healthy, and he's shown that, and he's averaging 6 innings per start, which these days is about what you want to see your starting pitchers average.
Well, the mayor, me and Joe Grube, we were talking about in the game 1 about when Denny McLain won 31 games. He also pitched 331 innings that year.
4-man rotation, a lot of guys.
With 28 complete games, rather.
You handed those guys the ball, and they never gave it back to you because they never wanted you to go to the bullpen.
No. Well, down in those days, the bullpens would you put most of the time failed starters.
Guys in a holding pattern waiting to find a spot in the rotation. Yeah. That's why I always thought years ago, not all that long ago, but years ago, middle relief was the hardest area to fill out on your roster because it was the only thing that you didn't win. Middle relief, you were there by default. It was failed closers, failed setup men, failed starters. They went into that vast wasteland, which was middle relief.
Well, the 2 things we used to say before every ball game is the count goes full to Abreu. The first thing we'd say, all right, guys, let's get in their bullpen in a hurry. And the next thing is, if we get beat, let's get beat in a hurry. Now you don't want to get in those bullpens.
There's a lot that you just as soon have that starting pitcher go through the lineup the 3rd time as opposed to a couple of those fireballers coming out of the pen.
It's a tougher game today than it was when we played. Just got a piece of it. And I get a lot of emails and texts from former teammates, former competitors that I played against. And they say, Hawk, how can you say these guys are better than we were? Well, our superstars would have been superstars today. and they would be superstars 100 years from now. But the regular players, guys like myself, these guys are much better than we were. Now there's pretty good at bat too. And Sox fans, don't miss the White Sox signature podcast, The Cycle. Comedian and great guy, Chicagoan Pat McGann, along with a rotating group of co-hosts, chats with athletes and celebrities about sports, life, and everything in between. That should be interesting. So subscribe via your podcast app today. Pat McGann. He's a keeper. Gene Conley passed away, huh?
86 years old. Star basketball player as well as major league pitcher.
One on, two out. Ball hit hard. Meanwhile, right at him. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth, trailing by 4.
You can't touch this.
Day off tomorrow, and then the Rockies for 3 in Denver, the All-Star break, and Seattle, the first opposition after the break, back at guaranteed rate. See your authorized Dodge dealer to experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup as Juan Minaya checks in the game for the bottom of the 6th.
Here's Matt Chapman. Yeah, those Rockies, they can put some points on the board in a hurry.
And they've got some good young pitching that's going to be better down the road. It's been pretty good, though, in the early going this year.
Chapman can't get it. He's 0 for 2. Matt has struck out and grounded to short.
Hayes bullpen up and going.
I don't care whose it is. Get them in there. They don't have an Andrew Miller down there.
No, it looks like Liam Hendricks. It's because it is Liam Hendricks.
And I echo Steve's comment about Terry Francona. Tito, wishing you the best, buddy. Hoping everything comes out fine. He gone. 1 out.
We just played the Yankees and won't see them again, but they would love to get Matt Holliday back. Matt Holliday was going through something that was really difficult for him. He had a tremendous amount of fatigue and body aches, and nobody could figure out exactly what it was. They sent him back from Chicago to New York, and they looked at it, took some tests. He tested positive for Epstein-Barr, which is a way to get very fatigued, and they think now that they know what it is, they'll be able to help him out with it, because he has been unable to do anything baseball related for some time now. The Yankees could use him back. Big right-hand hitter, gets key hits. Holliday's always been able to swing the bat.
Well, if there's one club over in the East that's got the momentum going right now, it's the Red Sox.
No doubt, and they are really good. Red Sox come into play today, 4 games up over New York. Red Sox have won 6 in a row.
Yeah, that's the thing. The momentum is there's 3 different ways to be 4 games up. 4 games up and holding, 4 games up and sinking, holding on, or 4 games up and going forward, so to speak.
They're starting to put it all together. That's
Yeah.
a very strong team. They don't have a weakness. They got Kimbrel at the end.
Watch out, Todd. Watch out.
Don't want to see another Texas from Todd. He doesn't need to go head first anymore into the stands, I think.
Well, all he did was put his front teeth through his lip.
Yeah, that's not a good plan. He slips right at the end of this, as you can see, by that corrugated steel by where the cameras are. Fortunately, Keith down there was able to move the camera and himself.
Bugman now 1 for 2. And 1 hit being a home run, not coming back in the 4th. So 2 down.
He's fine, the camera's fine, and no offense, Keith, but Todd Frazier's fine. That was the most important equation there, because we're not paying for the camera. Otherwise, we'd be very concerned about that camera.
Rajay, 1 for 2, a single, and 2 stolen bases on consecutive pitches. And if he gets on, he's going to try that one more time. Outfield slightly to the left. Big gap in right center. Might behoove you to come back and get him. 3-0 the count. There's 1. I'll tell you, club also has picked up some momentum. Kansas City.
Kansas City has been playing solid baseball for the better part of a month. They've won 3 in a row. They're sitting there in 2nd place. They're tied with the Twins, dead even at 43 and 40, just a game and a half in back of Cleveland, who, you know, everybody believes, and I'm included, I'm pretty sure you are, that they have the best team in the division on paper. But of course, as we know, you got to go out there every day and get it done. And the Indians haven't been consistent enough yet.
Well, that's why you got to play them.
Yep.
When you got the best, right off the bat, if you got the best bullpen in the division, you got to be the favorite. And besides having the best bullpen, they've got some pretty good starters if they can stay healthy.
Well, one of the things that
and they can run some pretty good talent out on that field as well.
It's hard to believe, however, that they're sitting at 18-22 at home. They're 26-16 on the road. And yet the Indians have not been able to take advantage of Progressive Field for whatever reason.
Well, decent lead by Rajay.
He was going.
Yeah, I broke it down. He's gonna give it one more time. When you come in hitting 206 and you got speed like he has and has a nice technique, you're gonna run if you get on base.
That's one of the reasons they got him over here.
That's it. So Joyce sitting in a good spot here. Probably not going to be a lot of off-speed pitches thrown to him.
I would think the answer would be none if you were hitting here with a base runner on.
There he goes.
Now no chance at all for Kevin. Once again, just a good break by Rajay Davis. Steals his third of the day, giving him 13.
And Tim's going to have to play close to the bag. I mean, it's just that simple. He can't give him the opportunity. And Minaya is going to have to give him more than one little glance.
Not quite Ricky Henderson-esque, but
Nobody
close to
was.
it. Now, there's a look at Ricky. It's now Ricky Henderson Field. They've got Catfish Hunter. They have the gate, the Catfish Hunter gate, which is wonderful to honor him here.
I played against Mantle, Mays, Musial, Maris, Kaline, Killebrew, and on and on and on. Great offensive players. Ricky Henderson's the greatest offensive player I ever saw.
Well, he could hit the ball out of the ballpark as a leadoff hitter, which was certainly not a rarity, but didn't happen all that often, and then just run you out of the ballpark and completely disrupt everything you're trying to do.
He could impact the game offensively. Watch out. See, that's what speed does for you. But he couldn't see.
No, Rajay mad at himself because he didn't pick up the baseball.
Well, he couldn't see it because of the umpire. But Ricky Henderson could impact offensively a game more than any other player I ever played against or saw. Tim, you better get in there, give him some fakes. There's one. Now you go ahead. Okay. You got to guard against it. Best part about it, though, was 2 outs. So it wasn't like it's 1 out like it was last time. But again, when you're hitting 206, he's going to try to steal as many as he can. That a boy. Step off. There he goes.
That's 4 today.
Well, they've got to start defending the steal with guys like that. And La Russa did it better than any other manager I've ever seen. He put, in this case right here, he would put the shortstop right on the bag. Right on the bag. And if it was a right-handed hitter, he'd put the second baseman right on the bag. Again, you're rolling the dice a little bit because of the vacated spot. But now the onus goes on the hitter. Because the guy's going to steal.
And the pitchers may be using a different pitch selection, not wanting to throw a breaking ball into dirt.
Exactly.
That takes that away from you.
Exactly. I played with guys, though, that when you had a guy like that, everybody was jockeying around. The hitter hated it. Good morning. They would tell him, hey, don't do that when I'm at the plate. Get over there. All right. Attaboy. That'll do it. We'll go to the 7th. Trailing 6-2.
Game. The A's have out-hit our Sox 8-3. It's been an airless game with Sonny Gray going 6 innings, just 3 hits and a couple of earned runs with 5 strikeouts and a couple of walks. Matt Davidson, a 2-run bomb. That one leaving the park easily, and Rajay Davis 4 stolen bases. Great deals waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer. We've got a new pitcher coming in the ball game. It is Liam Hendricks. We've seen him in a series on for the 37th time. He's 3-1 ERA, a little above 4.5. We saw him in the opener. He went an inning. He gave up a hit, walked 2, but got out of a jam of his own making in relief of Jarrell Cotton.
Todd Frazier will lead it off. Todd is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored.
Hendricks out of Perth, Australia, was a starting pitcher for a while with the Twins. Then he made his way to Toronto, Kansas City, back to Toronto, and was with Oakland last year, where he was a busy man, appeared in 53 games.
Stay fair. Dadgummit.
Tried to throw a high fastball by Todd, and he crushed it, but was out just an eyelash too quick. Todd hits the daylights out of this. High fastball out over the plate and misses down the line. Nice catch.
One out. And join us when our Sox face the Cleveland Indians on Sunday, July 30th at 1:10. Now, the first 15,000 fans will receive a White Sox water bottle presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big. Visit whitesox.com to get your tickets today. Here's the fans pick to click. Matt Davidson, he's 1 for 2 with that 2-run homer.
I would think they'd have the inside track today on the pick to click.
I think he does.
Hadn't been a whole lot of not a lot of offense, but here was a part of the offense. Got one down and hit it out, and it got out in a hurry.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot. When Matt makes him get the ball down, he's dangerous. They keep it up, he's not so dangerous.
There's a young man, absolutely exhausted. It's hard to hold that baseball up all game.
There's a strike, and it's 3-1. And it's full.
Bill Welke down there, and he did swing.
Two down.
Hendricks was walking away before Lance Barrett made the call, but he knew it was in the zone. Throws it there, starts walking away, and then Lance Barrett rings him up.
So here's Anderson, 0 for 2. Hit a little soft line drive to the shortstop, and he struck out. 6-8-0 for them. 2-3-0 for us. How about those Astros? 16-game lead.
It's pretty amazing, but when you look at that team top to bottom, you can understand it. The lineup is loaded. They play unbelievable baseball on the road. They're 30-9 on the road. It's absolutely astonishing.
It is, especially for a young team.
Whew. Yeah, that's something. They've dominated the West. It's in their division. They're 30-12 in the West. There you see what they're doing, which is making this race history.
Yeah, if you would have told me that a young team, that team that young, was going to have that kind of record on the road, I said, you better rethink that. You might be mistaken. They got it.
They got it. And a
veteran team you can understand.
Well, they've had it despite Dallas Keuchel being on the disabled list twice. But that lineup, top to bottom, is really dangerous and fast.
Well, he catches the ball as he strikes out the side, and we'll 7th inning stretch. We got a problem.
West, and it is Aaron Judge. This is his 28th home run. He went on to hit his 29th today. Exit velocity 118.4 miles per hour. Just unbelievable. This guy hits him a long way. They get out very quickly. And he's got 29 with 3 games to go before the break. And a little dent for him. So there you see the story here.
Jed Lowry. Lowry.
Like to get him out today.
3 for 3, 2 RBIs.
A's bullpen up and going.
You know, talking about stolen bases here in Oakland, I remember back in '76, Chuck Tanner was the manager.
That was the year of where everybody ran and they just kept on running. Yikes. 341 stolen bases, that's all?
341.
Unfortunately,
Gene Tennis stole 20.
I had the under 350, so I was feeling pretty good that year. Boy, that's gentlemen, start your engines, because there was never a don't steal sign.
He had everybody running. Everybody was stealing 20 or more. Yeah, he told me before the season started that year he was going to do that. He said, I'm going to run people out of the ballpark. And the reason being is you and I, as he gone, as we talked about, that's one of the worst things that can happen to a team is have stolen base, stolen base, stolen base, stolen base, one right after the other.
Have a guy, right.
It just,
Number 2.
it's the psyche of the thing.
Davis.
Coulombe and Madsen loosening up for the A's. Beck and Holmberg in the bullpen for our Sox. So 4 pitchers warming up on their respective sides.
Joe Group tells us that 8 guys had 20 or more that season.
That's pretty amazing.
Chris Davis. That's in the center field short, but we got a man who can cover some ground in a hurry. And a reminder, crush home runs and dominate in your very own Derby competition in the official MLB.com Home Run Derby game on the App Store and Google Play. Swing for the fences against more than 10 million players from around the world as your favorite Derby All-Star.
So that's going to be it for Manaea. David Holmberg is going to come in the game to face Yonder Alonso.
Good job by Manaea.
It was. He threw the ball well, and he will depart. David will come in and will step out.
Yonder Alonso takes first pitch from David Holmberg.
David Holmberg out for the 19th time. We saw him yesterday for an inning and 2/3. He threw it very well.
Yeah, as I said, he gives you that impression he could care less about the bat. That's just foul.
With Jose right on the line, he cannot get it down the line successfully.
Outfield around to the left. Huge gap out there and right center. And that's popped up back and into the souvenir area. Two out, full count. Watch out, right at the shift. Anderson's got him. That's a nice inning. 1, 2, 3, and we're into the 8th, trailing.
The 8th inning, and it's going to be a new pitcher coming out for Oakland. It's Ryan Madsen. We've also seen in this series on for the 36th time, 1-4, but the ERA very good at 2.41. Opponent's batting average at 2.05, also exceptional.
So here's Kevin. Start us off. Madsen, one time, one of the bigger arms in the game.
He was just a terrific pitcher and then got hurt. Took 3 years off. Now he's found his way back, and he's come back with very good stuff.
Kevin saying to himself, where was that pitch for some of my pitchers? Count hangs at 0-2. That's out number 1. And a reminder, the first 25,000 fans at each game receive a Merck's Cheese Spread game card, good for savings on delicious Merck's cheese in the deli or dairy case at their local grocer. Watching the Sox game and saving on Merck's cheese, well, some fans have all the luck. So purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. That's good stuff. Merck's
cheese is great.
Oh, yeah. As we say, there's not a clubhouse in baseball. Well, I can't say that because I'm not a clubhouse in the American League that doesn't have it. Everybody's got Merck's cheese. As here's Yolmer. Two and one. Start us off right here. Yolmer.
Fastball still pretty good. That was 96. That's what he's thrown in this series.
He's slinging it.
Yep.
Was he slinging it before he got hurt?
I'm not sure. I do know that the fastball was almost a triple digit.
Yeah. In fact, I think he hit triple digits a few times. I thought his demotion was just a little different than that.
Well, he had Tommy John surgery in 2012 and had all kinds of problems. He missed 2012, 13, and 14 for resurrecting his career. Yolmer frustrated because that one was well off the plate outside.
9 strikeouts for Oakland pitching.
Good moving fastball, and Yolmer would like to break the bat, but he'll probably use it again day after tomorrow.
Adam, 0 for 3 today.
With everybody who is in contention looking for one more bullpen arm, by the time Oakland gets ready to win, Madsen is not going to be here, and you would think that there'd be a few folks pretty interested in him because he's thrown it well.
Had an easy inning there, a couple of punch outs, 1, 2, 3, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th, trailing by 4.
6-4-3. And Davis grounds into it. Nice play by Yomer. When you think of garages, think Danley's. 773-GARAGES. Garages.
His range of angles is just about as big as anybody in this league at second base on turning a double play. And he can throw it from anywhere.
Catch it, throw it in the same area. Wherever he catches it, that's where he's going to throw it.
So here is Maxwell. Bruce, 2-run double in the third inning. He also has walked and struck out.
Sean Doolittle loosening up in the pen. We saw enough of him yesterday to convince us that he's back healthy and throwing it great.
He's back. And once again, a reminder, tomorrow's an off day. And then Friday from Coors Field, Derek Holland against Herman Marquez in that game. Will be over CSN Chicago Saturday over WGN, and Sunday on CSN Chicago. Saturday's game, Quintana against Hoffman, and finale of that series in this road trip, Carlos Rodon against Kyle Freeland. So the leadoff walk, and here comes Ricky.
So Chris Beck coming in the ball game. David Holmberg will exit, and as he walks out, so will we. We'll be back after these messages. He's the fifth Sox pitcher. On for the 31st time, 1-0 ERA, 351. There you look at the rest of the numbers. Opponent's batting average at 227. That's pretty good. Nobody out here in the eighth. He inherits Maxwell at first base with the bottom part of the order. A couple of right-handers before Brugman.
Franklin Barreto. He's 0 for 3.
Zach Neal joins Doolittle, and you have to figure if the A's score and score a couple, that it'll be Neal. If not, it'll be Doolittle.
Gap out there in left center. Fighting that sun. And that's out number 1. I'll say one thing for Barreto. He has a good swing.
He's another one of those guys, though, that better lay off the high pitch, because he's got a chance
everything's
to
going to be
pretty good
high to
hitter.
him.
Well, yeah, he's diminutive.
No, I know where you're coming from, but no, he's really solid through the hitting area.
Well, he was their number 1 prospect.
He was.
Yeah, number 1 prospect. When you bring him up, you got to play him.
It's popped up into right center field. Adam, long way to go. He gets there very easily, and it's out number 2. Chapman now 0 for 4. Adam Engel can cover some ground.
He can that. It's a good thing, because Avi didn't see that ball right away, and it was drifting to right center. Adam just came across and put it away.
Well, we got 2 guys that can cover a lot of ground out there, and that's Leary and Adam. They can definitely cover some ground. Defense has never been more important than it is in today's game.
You see it every day. You give guys that 4th and 5th out, you got problems.
Well, that's one thing that Ricky is going to clean up. Among other things, we got the right man in the right spot at the right time. Rick Renteria. Oh, almost got it. Savi will get it back in. Hits Yolmer.
Hope he didn't hurt his knee, because as he was running toward the line, looked like his foot slipped, and now he was kind of stretching out that knee some. So Brugman with his 2nd hit. Chasing Maxwell to 3rd, and then Avi comes across to get it. And right there, he slipped and then started exercising that knee a bit.
So here's Rajay. Rajay, 2 for 3. With some stolen bases today. Ball gets away. Got a shot. Throws it away. And it's a 7-2 ball game.
We'll take another look. It is a wild pitch as it scampers away, and then the throw gets by Beck. And it's an insurance run, making it a 5-run lead.
Out and around that one, yanks it foul. Yeah, that's going to be one of the priorities going forward the rest of this season, and certainly coming into spring training and during spring training next year, is cutting down on the unearned runs. We are 2nd, only behind Oakland, or in front of Oakland, I should say, in the major leagues in unearned runs. And that is completely unacceptable. biggest killer of momentum in the major leagues is bad defense. It's not bad pitching, it's not bad hitting, it's bad defense. There you go. But they pick up one, and we're into the ninth. Not good.
State Farm here to help life go right, and the combination is the combination of 4 steals, 2 at a time, second and third twice. He had 10 coming into today, and Rajay Davis now has 14.
And the worst part about that is you know he's going to do it.
Yep, you do, because that's what he's in there for. And Sean Doolittle is in here to try to wrap it up.
And here is Cabrera to try to impede his progress.
Pretty good numbers on for the 20th time. ERA of 3.12 and 3 of 4 in save opportunities. He was the full-time closer until they got Santiago Casilla. There's a lot of teams pretty happy not to face Doolittle. They'd rather face Casilla.
I think you're right. Gap out there in left center. One and two. And that's Souvenir, right side. He can't get there. If you're just tuning in, they scored 1 in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and 1 in the eighth. That is out number 1.
Now batting,
10 strikeouts now for Oakland pitching. Abreu 0 for 2 with a walk. Got in on him with that pitch. And the count 1-1.
Young lady, very happy with that souvenir. Part of 13,813 today.
That fastball at 95. A lot of times, according to the delivery, that 95 can look like 102.
His does. When he keeps it upstairs, it looks a lot quicker than 95. That one fouled off of Maxwell again. He's taking a beating back there today.
Big as he is, he's going to take a few of them.
Yeah, he is.
Abreu, what a hard worker he is.
He's done that since he's come to the ball club. Same work ethic.
Since day one.
Yep.
First thing they'll tell you a lot of times about youngsters is he probably has some terrific parents.
Now, this is quite a battle. Jose keeps following everything straight back.
Bullet.
He threw a changeup, but he tipped it off that time because that was the first pitch in the sequence where he slowed down his motion, and Jose was not fooled in the least. He just waited for it and drove it into left field. That's his first hit of the day. He tipped off straight change, and Jose, after a battle on high fastball after high fastball, sees that straight change.
Yeah, you can see it just an instant before the release.
You slow down your motion, your delivery, it tips off the hitter to keep his hands back.
Here's Ivy. He is 0 for 3. Takes first pitch strike.
That one got Lance Barrett. It got him right on the right arm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's
right below the bicep.
And that was flush also. Yikes.
Well, Lance, he can handle it. He is a very, very tough individual. He's heard a few bell rings in his career in that boxing ring. He's just coming right at him now. Eleven strikeouts, and here
Now batting, number 21, Todd.
is Todd. Todd 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. 7-2. A's here in the top of the ninth inning with 1 on and 2 down. There he goes, fouls it back. They're going to give it to you, take it. Watch out. That's high, deep, way back. You can put it on the board. Yes. And it's a 7-4 ball game.
#16th home run, 44th driven in. For 43 and 44, that a drive and a no-doubter as Doolittle staying with a high fastball, and Todd hits it out.
So, Mark Leipold, Sparky, Joe Bonilla, George Hofsummer, Jackie and the Cruz pick to click. Davidson. One for 3 with that 2-run homer in the 5th inning. Yes, he did. One and 2 the count. And this ball game is over, and we'll be back.
Pitch to the left-hander Maxwell. One on.